back, when our rishis and sages, when they discovered the fundamental truth, which they articulated when they said, Mam Atma Sarva Bhutatma. All the differences that you see, this stunning diversity that you see, these are all various manifestations of the same divine. These are like leaves on a tree. A tree has million leaves, and no two leaves are exactly alike, and yet they are integrally connected as a part of a family with the tree. So when we talk about seva, it is not that you do something and there is someone sitting somewhere and watching and giving you a merit and benefit, but here is when you do seva, you are doing seva to yourself. And that is what it says, Niskam Seva. A seva without any kind of selfishness or any kind of a desire for a moksha or anything. It is there. Inherent in our seva is that we are all one, we are all member of a family. Dr. Nedungadi Haridas mentioned about something happened in last some centuries, 500, 600 years. And a distortion has cropped in. And we started looking at things differently than what we were looking earlier than that. And that has been the period also when the alien influence came on this country through invasion and colonization, and new ideas, new thoughts came. We also heard Thiru K.L. Rao talking about UNICEF language, nature. This is European language, this is Western language. Here, the fundamental difference is the difference in epistemology, the system of knowledge that India has, the Bharat has, and the system of knowledge in the rest of the world, Europe and America. In our epistemology, in our sense, our system of knowledge, buddhi is not sovereign. Buddhi is important. Intellect is very, very important, but intellect is not sovereign. There are because our buddhi is something which is a function of our five sense organs: touch, sense, sight, smell, hearing, touch. All the five organs that we experience the world, based on that we acquire our knowledge. This buddhi has a limitation and it keeps increasing, it keeps changing its dynamic. And that is why in Bharatiya system of knowledge there is something called adhyatmik. There is something which is beyond buddhi, parabuddhi, and only when the two means, the two happens, the sambuddhi happens, only then the true knowledge comes. And that is why when we look at somebody, we don't look at it as a creation of a nature or diversity of nature. We look at it as various diverse manifestations of the same divine. Disabilities. Astavakra was a quite disabled person, we all know that. We know the story of Astavakra, highly deformed person. But he was not considered disabled. It is a form, it is a diversity that is how divine manifests in ways which nobody knows. It is only for the divine to know. We are nobody to talk about it. We can only appreciate and perhaps celebrate too. So, this Satya Sai Orphanage Trust, the doing great service to humanity, is something which is remarkable. Before the advent of modern state, society looks after itself. There was the society did not look at a state or any king were there to protect from anything which is from alien invasion and all. People look after themselves. Society looked after themselves. Unfortunately, with the advent of modern state, the role of society has been declining, decreasing. And we all feel that we look upon the state that the state should do it. It is a state's responsibility, not ours. Now that's not the way. That's not the Indian way. This is not the Bharatiya Sanskar. Society has a lot of strength, and a strength perhaps much more than any government can have. And that is what we see today. The transformation that is happening in the country after the coming up of the new national leadership in the last about a decade. Because the change that has happened is the national leadership has realized the strength of the society, our people. That is why the slogan is Ellorudanum, Ellorukagum, Ellorum Muershium. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas. Involve all, take all. A strength of the people. It is that. And when the strength, the goodness which is inherent in our society, inherent in everyone. In the West, people count about philanthropists, count on fingers, maybe count on numbers. And sometimes someone had the audacity to say, philanthropy is only the character of the West. There, philanthropy is when you have surplus, billions of billions, then you also spend billions. Here, philanthropy is when someone comes to your house, and if you have only one bread, share the half bread with his. Atithi Devo Bhava, that is philanthropy. Service is there inherent, and if you accumulate this micro level, if you call it philanthropy, then perhaps it is immense. It is there. Now, this organization which is doing this great job, in the last just about a little over 2 decades, they have grown immensely. They have grown immensely because there is a goodness in the society. There are people who are joining. There is a positive impulse in each one of us, rich or poor alike. And when you have a lightning rod where they all gravitate and they all come together, all that you need is to provide a credible lightning rod where it gets attracted. And this trust has created that sense of belief in the people that yes, if this, what they are doing, if a resource is given, if participation is given, if a cooperation is given, it will be for the good of the people, good of the needy. I'm sure in the coming days and years, it will grow much more than what it is today. And it will continue serving the society and the country. Coming to the transgender. I think, sometimes people say that women, disabled, transgender, it is not their fault. Why this apologetic approach? What is the fault in it? What is wrong with that? Nothing wrong. They are as good as anyone else. I think this reflects somewhere in our subconscious the prejudice that we nourish. This has to go. A transgender is as much human as anyone else. It's not only just a question of rights, it's the question much more than that. In every sphere, they are as good as anyone else. Now this prejudice that has crept in, as Dr. Nedungadi said, because of distortion in last couple of centuries, this prejudice has to go. And prejudice cannot go just because of legislation, because of constitutional provisions. We know that our Supreme Court has held that transgenders have all the constitutional rights. Rights of equality, equal opportunity, protection from discrimination, freedom of speech, freedom of life. All these rights are available. But we need to create enabling environment for them to exercise those rights. They don't have to fight for right. If they start fighting for right and then they get the right, that's not something which is a healthy ecosystem. We have to create that enabling environment. And what Satya Sai Trust is doing by creating this dance academy for them is creating an enabling environment. It's a modest attempt. It has begun only about a year ago. And so the first anniversary is, you can say, it is just a toddler, an infant, which is learning to sit. But I'm sure one day it will grow and run fast. And there will be many others who will be also joining. Because this enabling environment cannot be created by the state. Because by very nature, be it a state, government of a state, I mean political state, whether a state or the union, or in any international organization, they are essentially bureaucratic in nature. For them it is a duty, they have to do it. For them it is an statistics, that is what it is. There is no compassion, there is no empathy. It is very clinical. There are a few exceptions, but by and large, systems work clinically, not with emotion. And that is what we see in our day-to-day administration also. That you come up with the best of policy, best of legislation, but down the line, when it comes to implementation, you find people, those who are entrusted with it, it is lost among them. And as a result, the right benefit doesn't come to the beneficiary. So, society has to get into it. There has to be many more, while this Satya Sai Trust is doing, and it needs to get all the help and cooperation, assistance for all of us. We need to have many more of us who coming forward in the society to create the enabling environment for the transgenders, so that they are equal to us. They are perceived as equal to us. They are equal to us, we know, but we all look at them as equal to us. Is very, very important. And I'm sure this initiative taken by Satya Sai Orphanage Trust will go a long way in igniting the desire among all of us to do something more in our own way. And that will definitely bring about the desired change. Thank you very much for all this. Jai Hind. Yeah.
Thank you for the visionary address to all of us, sir, making this day a very memorable in our lives and in the history of Sai Gramam. Now I'd like to invite Srimati Beena Unnikrishnan, Chairperson, Sai Gramam Chennai Chapter, to deliver a word of thanks.
A very good evening to all of you. Gratitude, I always feel that is the biggest prayer that can somebody feel about it. I am very pleased to be standing here on behalf of Sri Satya Sai Trust Kerala, who thinks or emphasis on the thought called Vasudeva Kudumbagam. That is why they have thought of spreading their service outside Kerala, thinking that the world as one family. I thank our Honorable Governor, Sri R.N. Ravi, for her great heart for conducting this event in this prestigious premises and making this event as a memorable one for all of us, especially the transgender community. I express my gratitude to Sri K.N. Anandakumar sir, the founder of Sri Satya Sai Trust, for all the social activities and for his great thought of service. My gratitude to Sri K.L. Rao, UNICEF India Chief, for accepting our invitation and gracing this occasion. My special thanks to my great friend Sunil Sri Menon for his wonderful work that he has been doing for upskilling the life of transgenders through his organization Sahodaran and his support to the Trust for making this day possible. Today, our superstar is always a teacher, who is K. Shanmugha Sundaram, who has dedicated his time to train and teach the dancers in such a short period. He has been a pillar of strength to the students. Dr. Nedungadi Haridas, whom I see always in my place of a guru and a friend, who has always been there with a solution for anything we approached. So my gratitude to him. My sincere thanks for giving his premises to conduct the dance classes and for being a great support. My sincere thanks to Mr. Mohanan Namburi, Side Trust Office Bearer, and Sharifa, the founder of Knowledge Engineering. My sincere thanks to Vivek Naya for his support and pay